girl marked by destiny, a cursed river. When the twin serpents awaken, the balance of life is at stake. Will she break the curse or unleash chaos? Watch till the end. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Your support keeps these ancient stories alive. Now prepare for a tale of destiny, mystery, and supernatural power. In the heart of an ancient jungle, hidden beneath towering baobab trees, lay the village of the sacred river. This river, shimmering with an ethereal glow, was believed to be the lifeblood of the ancestors, whispering forgotten wisdom to those who listened. Elders gathered by its banks, passing down tales of fate and balance, warning that the river's spirits must never be angered. Fireflies danced above its waters, casting golden reflections under the moonlight. The villagers lived in harmony, but a prophecy foretold that the river's peace would soon be tested. On the night of the blood moon, a child was born beneath the sacred baobab tree. Naima, her skin kissed by moonlight, bore a mysterious, serpent-shaped birthmark on her palm, an omen whispered in ancient prophecies. The village priestess gasped, declaring, "She carries the fate of the river." Some saw her as a blessing, others as a curse. As she took her first breath, the sacred river glowed unnaturally, its waters trembling. The ancestors had spoken. Naima's destiny was tied to forces beyond mortal understanding. Deep within the oracle's cave, an old blind seer sat before a fire, her voice trembling with ancient wisdom. The child walks between two worlds, one of light, one of shadow. If she strays, the twin serpents shall awaken. The villagers listened in fear, knowing that the serpents, Nyoka and Koma, were the river's eternal guardians, bound by fate. The elders decided to raise Naima in secrecy, teaching her the ways of the ancestors. Yet, deep within her heart, the river's call grew stronger, whispering of a destiny she could not escape. Naima felt the river's pull, an invisible force calling her beyond the village's warnings. Never touch the sacred waters, the elders had told her, for disturbing them could awaken the twin serpents. Yet each night she dreamt of a woman in white, standing in the river, whispering, "The water remembers." One evening, unable to resist, Naima crept to the river's edge. As her fingers brushed the surface, the water shimmered unnaturally, rippling with an eerie glow. Deep beneath, something stirred, watching, waiting for the moment to awaken. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a mysterious traveler arrived at the village. His name was Kofi, and around his neck hung a pendant, two serpents intertwined, the same shape as Naima's birthmark. The elders exchanged uneasy glances, recognizing it as the mark of an ancient brotherhood, one long feared for its forbidden knowledge. Kofi claimed to be a seeker of wisdom, yet his eyes held secrets. That night, as the villagers slept, he stood by the river, whispering incantations, his presence disturbing the sacred balance. That night the village was restless. The river, once calm, trembled as if alive. The waters darkened, reflecting the ominous glow of the blood moon above. Elders gathered at the riverbank, whispering prayers, but their voices were drowned by an eerie hiss echoing through the air. "The twin serpents have awakened," the oracle warned, her blind eyes wide with terror. Suddenly the ground shook, and beneath the river's surface two massive, glowing eyes emerged. The sacred balance had been broken, and fate had begun to unravel. Fear gripped the village as the river churned with an unnatural force. Naima knew the answers lay beyond the forbidden lands. Guided by an unseen force, she ventured into the shadowed jungle, where whispers of ancestors rustled through the trees. Fireflies formed a glowing path, leading her to the ancient baobab, the tree of voices. As she placed her hand on its bark, a sudden gust of wind surrounded her. The air shimmered, and a black panther spirit emerged, its golden eyes piercing. "To restore balance, you must walk the path of the serpents." Naima followed the panther through the dense jungle until they reached a hidden cavern behind a waterfall. Inside, an underground river flowed black as night, its surface swirling with faint golden glows. As she gazed into the water, visions of the past emerged. The twin serpents once lived in harmony, but a great betrayal had cursed them. A shaman's greed had bound their souls, twisting their purpose. "The river holds the truth," the panther whispered. "To restore balance, you must unearth what was buried in darkness." Naima stepped forward, ready to face destiny. The underground river pulsed with energy as Naima's reflection shifted, revealing a vision of herself surrounded by coiling serpents. A deep, ancient voice echoed, "Prove your worth, child of destiny." Suddenly, the cavern walls shimmered, and three challenges appeared before her. 1. To hear the river's whispers, she must meditate and listen to the voices of the past. 2. To sacrifice her fears, she must embrace the truth of her destiny. 3. To restore what was lost, she must return the serpent's tear, hidden for centuries. Naima took a deep breath. Her trial had begun. As Naima prepared for her trials, Kofi emerged from the shadows, his pendant glowing like fire. "You were never meant to complete this journey," he sneered, his voice laced with deceit. In his hand he held the serpent's tear, the sacred relic Naima needed to restore balance. The serpents don't need saving. They need control. The underground river trembled, sensing his greed. Naima's heart pounded. Kofi was not a seeker of wisdom, but the descendant of the shaman who had cursed the river. The spirits stirred, awaiting her next move. The cavern trembled as Kofi raised the serpent's tear, its energy pulsing like wildfire. "With this, I control fate itself," he declared. Suddenly, the underground river erupted, one side ablaze with fire, the other flowing with liquid light. From the depths, two colossal serpents rose, their eyes burning with fury. Naima stepped forward, arms outstretched, feeling the pull of both forces. The serpents coiled around her and Kofi, their fates intertwined. Balance must be restored, the spirits whispered. The battle between fire and water had begun. Destiny would decide the victor. The twin serpents coiled tighter, their power shaking the cavern. Kofi fought to control the serpent's tear, but the relic rejected him. Flames engulfed his hands, and he screamed as the fire consumed his greed. Naima closed her eyes, embracing the river's energy. "I offer my spirit to restore balance," she whispered. A golden light surged from her chest, merging with the serpents. The curse shattered. The cavern walls glowed as the spirits of the ancestors rejoiced. Balance was restored, but Naima's fate hung in the balance. A blinding golden light engulfed the cavern, and the twin serpents let out a final, earth-shaking cry before dissolving into the river. The cursed waters turned clear, shimmering with divine energy. The sacred river, once lost, now flowed freely through the jungle. The villagers awakened to the sound of rushing water, gasping as life returned to the land. Naima stood at the river's edge, transformed, her eyes now glowing with the wisdom of the ancestors. The river had accepted her sacrifice, but her journey was not yet over. As the sacred river shimmered once more, a deep voice echoed through the village. The spirits of the ancestors had awakened, their whispers carried by the wind. Balance has been restored, but the cycle must never be broken again. The elders knelt in reverence as the twin serpent's energy swirled above the water, fading into golden mist. Naima felt their presence within her. She was now their guardian. The villagers, once afraid, now looked upon her with awe. The river had spoken, and its will could never be denied. The village gathered by the river, their torches flickering in the night. Elders prepared the sacred offering, herbs, golden beads, and river stones, symbols of gratitude to the spirits. Naima stood at the water's edge, her hands raised as she whispered the ancient prayer. The river pulsed in response, glowing with divine energy. As the offerings drifted into the current, a warm breeze swept through the jungle, carrying the ancestors' blessing. Drums thundered, voices rose in song. Balance had returned. The ritual was complete, but Naima's destiny was only beginning. Days passed, and the village flourished under the river's renewed blessing. Crops thrived, animals returned, and the air felt lighter, as if the land itself had healed. Naima, once feared, was now revered as the guardian of the sacred river. She spent her days teaching the children the ancient ways, ensuring they never forgot the lessons of balance. She carved the story of the twin serpents onto the great baobab tree, a reminder of the price paid. The river's whispers continued, but now they carried only peace. Seasons passed, and Naima's wisdom became legend. Under the great baobab tree, she gathered the young, her voice steady like the river's flow. Power is not in control, but in harmony, she taught, tracing the twin serpents carved into the wood. Greed disrupts balance, but those who listen will always find their way. The children nodded, their eyes wide with understanding. As the river flowed behind her, its waters clear and strong, Naima knew her purpose was fulfilled. The spirits had chosen her, and she had answered their call. As night fell, Naima stood by the river, gazing at its shimmering surface. The twin serpents were no longer seen, but she could feel them, watching, guiding, protecting. A gentle ripple formed, and for a brief moment, two glowing eyes appeared beneath the water, then vanished into the depths. The wind carried a whisper, "We are always here." Naima smiled, knowing the spirits would forever guard the balance. She turned away, walking toward the village, the river's song echoing in her heart. The legend would never be forgotten. The sacred river flowed endlessly, carrying the echoes of the past into the future. Naima's story became legend, passed from elder to child, whispered beneath the baobab tree. The village thrived, forever honoring the balance between light and shadow, power and wisdom. As the full moon rose, the river glowed softly, a silent promise from the spirits. Balance had been restored. And so the tale of the twin serpents lived on, a reminder that destiny is not written, but shaped by those who dare to listen. As generations passed, Naima's tale became more than legend. It became a guiding truth. The villagers honored the river with rituals, never forgetting the lessons of balance and destiny. Each night under the great baobab tree, elders would whisper the story of the twin serpents, the chosen girl, and the price of greed. And as children listened, the river's waters shimmered as if the spirits themselves were still watching. Though Naima was gone, her legacy remained, etched in stone, carried in whispers, and flowing forever in the sacred river.